This audiobook reveals the eternal body blueprint, the ancient secret that your body is more than flesh. It is living light. As you listen, you'll discover how every cell responds to your consciousness, allowing you to regenerate, revitalize, and awaken radiant vitality. Step into the eternal truth of your being and transform your body from within. The Eternal Body Blueprint. Introduction. The truth of your being is eternal, flowing not merely through thought, but through every cell, every atom, every quiver of energy that shapes your physical form. Your body is living light, a luminous constellation of energy dancing in harmony with your deepest beliefs. Within this sacred vessel dwells an intelligence beyond the mechanical, a wisdom that transmutes thought into flesh, spirit into matter. The law of attraction does not act only in the world of dreams and desire. It weaves itself into the very architecture of your body. Each cell hums in resonance with your consciousness. Each organ moves to the subtle music of your thoughts. When you attune to this hidden symphony, you awaken the ability to regenerate, revitalize, and reshape your form through aligned awareness. Time, as you have known it, is but a veil, a construct that binds the body to cycles of apparent decay. Beneath this illusion lies a secret as old as life itself. Your body responds not to clocks, but to the eternal now of consciousness. In this awakened state, you access the blueprint of perpetual renewal encoded deep within your DNA. This is not a denial of the physical realm, but an embrace of its sacred essence. Your body is ready to receive the light of transformed awareness, to shed the heavy garments of limitation, and to step into its natural state of radiant vitality. Each breath becomes a prayer of renewal, each heartbeat a pulse of infinite possibility. The ancients understood this truth. The body is no machine to wear down, but a temple of living light, constantly reconstructing itself according to the sacred geometries of thought and feeling. Through gratitude, through love, through conscious flow of life force energy, you awaken the remembrance of your body's inherent divinity. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Part 1. The Awakening of Inner Light. Chapter 1. The Mirror that Smiled Back. In a sunlit cottage at the edge of a quiet village lived Millie, who began each day with a familiar ritual of harsh scrutiny before her mirror. Like countless others, she had turned her reflection into an adversary, seeking out every perceived flaw with meticulous precision. Yet one morning, something shifted within her. Instead of her usual critical inspection, she found herself smiling at her own image, not from duty, but from a genuine surge of warmth. The transformation that followed was remarkable. Her rigid shoulders softened, her breath deepened, and a subtle glow emerged from within. This simple act of kindness toward herself awakened an ancient truth. The body responds not to what you wish it to be, but to how you perceive it now. The law of attraction operates through every cell of your being. When you direct harsh judgment toward your physical form, you create a field of contractile energy that restricts the natural flow of life force. Your cells, ever responsive to your consciousness, begin to mirror this resistance. But when you shift into genuine appreciation, you release a regenerative current that awakens your body's innate wisdom. This truth became even clearer when Millie encountered her old friend Sophia at the village market. Sophia's skin seemed to radiate an inner light, her movements flowing with unusual grace. When asked about her secret, Sophia shared that she had begun each day with a ritual of gratitude for her body, thanking it for its faithful service. "I stopped fighting against time," Sophia explained, and began dancing with it instead. Through their conversation, Millie understood a fundamental principle. What you praise expands. Sophia's daily practice of appreciation had not only shifted her perspective, but had actually altered the biological expression of her cells. Her gratitude had become a physical force, flowing through her being like a rejuvenating stream. The wisdom of the ages teaches that the body ages most rapidly under the weight of disapproval. Each criticism, each harsh judgment, each moment of rejection creates a ripple of tension that disrupts the natural harmony of your physical form. Yet when you choose delight, when you view your body as an ally rather than an opponent, you activate ancient pathways of renewal. This is not vanity, but voltage. Self-love generates an electromagnetic field that supports cellular regeneration. Your appreciation becomes a tangible force, a current of life-affirming energy that flows through every tissue and organ. Sacred practice. Each morning, breathe deeply before your mirror, release judgment, and affirm, "My body is my ally," letting your reflection mirror your light. Chapter 2. The Compass of Breath. In the heart of a bustling financial district, you might have passed Harvey without noticing the silent struggle within his form. His shoulders crept ever higher toward his ears, his breath barely skimming the surface of his lungs as he rushed between meetings. Like many caught in modern life's swift current, he remained unaware that his very breath had become a whisper of anxiety. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, carries messages in the most unexpected vessels. For Harvey, revelation arrived through the simple act of buttoning his shirt one morning. His fingers trembled slightly, and in that moment he noticed his breathing for the first time. Shallow, rapid, barely sustaining. Something ancient stirred within him, a remembrance that breath itself holds the key to vitality. You see, each breath you take is not merely an exchange of gases, it is a magnetic force, drawing life essence into your being. When you breathe in fear, anxiety, or haste, you attract more of the same. But when you breathe with conscious awareness, you become a conductor of divine energy, transforming the very quality of your life force. As Harvey began to observe his breath, allowing it to deepen and slow, an extraordinary transformation unfolded. His colleagues remarked on a certain luminosity about him, a vitality that seemed to emanate from within. His skin took on a subtle glow, and his eyes regained their sparkle. Through conscious breathing, he had unknowingly activated one of the universe's most fundamental laws. The breath, when directed with intention, becomes a powerful attractor of life force. It was during one of his newly adopted afternoon walks that Harvey encountered Master Chen, an elderly pianist whose very presence seemed to emanate tranquility. The old man sat at a public piano in the park, his fingers dancing across the keys with fluid grace. What caught Harvey's attention, however, were the pianist's eyes, deep pools of serenity that seemed to hold ancient wisdom. Master Chen shared a simple truth that had eluded Harvey throughout his years of striving. "The space between notes," he said, "is where music lives. The pause between breaths is where life renews itself." He taught Harvey the art of counted breathing, a rhythm as precise as a musical score, yet as natural as the ocean's tide. This wisdom echoes through the ages. Your breath is the bridge between thought and form, between spirit and matter. Each inhalation carries the power to reprogram cellular memory, while each exhalation releases the accumulated tension of time itself. When you breathe with conscious intention, you instruct your tissues to remember their original blueprint of vitality. Sacred practice. 3 times each day, at dawn, noon, and dusk, find a quiet moment for this ancient breathing ritual. Inhale for 4 counts, drawing in pure gratitude, feeling it fill every cell of your being. Hold this breath of kindness for 4 counts, allowing it to saturate your tissues with golden light. Release for 8 counts, letting go of all fear, tension, and the very concept of age itself. Feel each exhale as a cleansing wave, washing away cellular memory of time's passage. This is not mere respiration. It is spiritual alchemy, transforming the very substance of your being with each conscious breath. Chapter 3. The Secret Garden Within. Behind an old stone cottage, sheltered from the world's hurried pace, a garden whispers secrets of vitality. Each morning, Clara moves among her herbs with the gentleness of morning light. Some plants reach toward her presence like children seeking embrace, their leaves glossy with health. Others, in forgotten corners, droop with neglect, their stems bent as if in sorrow. Through this living tapestry, a truth emerges. What you nurture flourishes, what you ignore diminishes. The herbs mirror an ancient principle. Your cells respond to attention just as plants lean toward sunlight. When Clara kneels beside her sage, speaking softly of its wisdom and strength, new growth appears within days. Yet the mint she forgot in shadow withers, teaching that neglect is not neutral. It actively depletes. Your body operates by this same law. Every thought you direct toward it becomes nourishment or poison. Each cell awakens to your attention, transforming intention into physical reality through the alchemy of consciousness. When you curse your fatigue, you water it with power. When you bless your strength, you call it forth from sleeping seeds. Clara discovered this power in the simple ritual of blessing her morning tea. As steam rises from herbs she tenderly harvested, she closes her eyes and whispers gratitude for the healing about to enter her body. With each sip, she feels a spark of renewal, as if the plant's life force merges with her own. Her body responds not to the herbs alone, but to the love infused in their preparation. This truth found stark illustration through Clara's friend Thomas, who lived the opposite path. Each morning, he would wake to curse his aching knees, lamenting their stiffness and predicting their decline. "These old joints are failing me," he would announce to anyone who would listen. And indeed, they did fail, growing stiffer and more painful with each negative prophecy. His words became seeds of his experience, sprouting exactly what he planted in the soil of belief. Here lies a fundamental truth. Your body listens to every word you speak, every thought you think, with perfect devotion. It is not metaphor, but mechanism. The physical form translates consciousness into biochemistry with unfailing precision. Your cells do not distinguish between literal and figurative language. They simply respond, faithfully manifesting the reality you describe. Ancient practice, of cellular blessing. Before eating or drinking, pause with gratitude, thank your body aloud, and let your words ripple through every cell, nurturing renewal and vitality. Chapter 4. The Golden Thread of Joy. In a quiet apartment overlooking the city, Benny sat at his desk, shoulders hunched beneath the weight of endless tasks. Day after day, his reflection grew more ashen, his eyes duller, as though life itself was seeping from his bones. The more seriously he took his responsibilities, the heavier they became, until even his skin seemed to forget its natural radiance. You see, the universe operates through frequencies of light, some visible, others felt only in the depths of your being. When you allow joy to escape from your life, you disconnect from the highest vibrations that sustain youth and vitality. Your cells require more than nutrients and oxygen. They thrive on the electric current of delight. The law of attraction responds not just to your thoughts, but to the energy you emanate. In choosing solemnity over joy, you attract more reasons for heaviness. Your body follows this lead, producing chemicals that age rather than rejuvenate. Yet within you lies a fountain of eternal youth, waiting to be unleashed through the simple act of laughter. Think of your body as an instrument of light. When you laugh, you strike a chord that resonates through every cell, awakening dormant frequencies of renewal. This is not mere metaphor. Scientific research reveals that laughter releases endorphins, strengthens immunity, and reduces stress hormones that accelerate aging. One afternoon, while walking through the park, Benny encountered a small girl spinning in circles, giggling at nothing but the sheer pleasure of being alive. Her laughter rang pure and free, untethered by reason or purpose. In that moment, he witnessed true alignment with the universe's natural state of joy. The child's delight struck something deep within him. First, a reluctant smile cracked his serious demeanor. Then, watching her unrestrained happiness, something broke loose inside his chest. Before he knew it, Benny found himself laughing, truly laughing, for the first time in months. His body tingled with forgotten lightness, as though awakening from a long sleep. Within days, people began commenting on his transformed appearance. His skin glowed, his eyes sparkled, and his step carried a bounce that had long been absent. He had stumbled upon a profound truth. Joy is not just an emotion, but a force of regeneration. Through his experience, you can understand that laughter is both medicine and magnet. When you laugh, you align with the universe's natural frequency of abundance and vitality. Your cells respond by activating their innate blueprint of eternal youth. Ancient practice for cellular renewal. Spend 5 minutes daily in genuine laughter, feeling its joyful energy awaken and renew every cell of your body. Chapter 5. The Water Remembers. Along the tranquil banks of an ancient stream, Annie encountered an elder whose eyes held the wisdom of countless seasons. As she sat beside him, he lifted a crystal vessel filled with clear water, holding it up to the sunlight. Water, he spoke softly, carries memory in its essence. Each molecule dances to the music of our thoughts, reshaping itself according to the vibrations we share. The elder guided Annie's hands to cup her own vessel of water, teaching her to infuse it with loving intention. As she whispered words of gratitude, "Thank you for life, for renewal, for endless vitality," something shifted in the water's gleam. When she brought it to her lips, The liquid seemed to shimmer with an inner light, and as it flowed through her body, Annie felt a gentle warmth awakening her cells. The law of attraction manifests not only through thoughts and feelings, but through the very substance of life itself. Water, which comprises the majority of your physical form, acts as a living crystal, recording and amplifying the frequencies you feed it. Each molecule becomes a tiny mirror, reflecting back the qualities you instill. Dr. Samuel Bennett never expected his routine laboratory analysis to transform his understanding of reality. As a molecular biologist, he had studied water's structure countless times, but on this day, something extraordinary occurred. He divided a sample of pure water into 2 containers. To one, he directed thoughts of gratitude. To the other, he remained neutral. When frozen and examined under a microscope, the grateful water revealed breathtaking geometric patterns, perfect snowflake-like crystals that seemed to radiate harmony. The neutral water showed no such organization. This discovery shook the foundations of his scientific worldview. The implications were clear. Consciousness itself could restructure matter at its most fundamental level. Your thoughts don't merely influence your psychology. They reshape the very molecules that make up your body. Every glass of water becomes an opportunity for transformation. When you drink mindlessly, you miss the chance to program the liquid with life-affirming frequencies. But when you pause to infuse your water with intention, you create a powerful elixir of renewal. The water becomes more than mere hydration. It becomes a carrier of consciousness, a bridge between thought and physical form. The molecules of your body await your conscious direction. They stand ready to crystallize into patterns of health, vitality, and regeneration. Through the simple act of blessing your water, you initiate a cascade of molecular restructuring that ripples through your entire being. Sacred practice. Before drinking, cup water in your hands, infuse it with intentions of vitality, and sip slowly, letting each drop renew every cell. Chapter 6. The Sleep of Renewal. In a small cottage at the edge of the forest, Edith would lie awake as thoughts spiraled through her mind like autumn leaves in a whirlwind. Night after night, her racing mind kept her from the sweet surrender of sleep, leaving her exhausted and worn. Until one evening, when an ancient teaching found its way to her through a weathered journal, its chapters yellowed with time. Within its wisdom lay a truth that would transform her nights. The final thoughts before slumber become the seeds from which tomorrow blooms. As you journey through life, the hours before sleep hold extraordinary power. These precious moments shape not only your dreams, but the very essence of your cellular restoration. When you release your grip on worry and embrace appreciation, you align with the natural rhythms of renewal that flow through your being. Edith began a nightly ritual of gratitude, replacing her anxious thoughts with gentle appreciation. "I am thankful for the warmth of my bed," she would whisper, "for the sound of rain on my roof, for the strength in my body, for the love in my heart, for the peace that surrounds me." As she practiced this ritual, something remarkable occurred. Her sleep became deeper, more restorative, and she would wake with a natural glow that seemed to emanate from within. The law of attraction continues its work as you sleep, weaving the tapestry of your consciousness into physical form. Your cells listen intently to your final thoughts, using these vibrations as blueprints for their midnight renewal. When you drift into sleep on waves of appreciation, you provide your body with the perfect conditions for rejuvenation. Consider the tale of Maya, who carried her daily frustrations to bed each night. She would rehearse arguments, replay disappointments, and harbor resentments until sleep finally claimed her. Though she slept for many hours, she would wake feeling drained, her face bearing the weight of her troubled thoughts. Her rest, though long, lacked the essential ingredient of peace. The quality of your sleep is not measured in hours, but in the vibration you maintain as you transition from wakefulness to dreams. Just as a garden requires the right conditions to flourish, your body's regenerative processes depend on the energy you cultivate before rest. Sacred night. Practice. As you prepare for sleep, create a sanctuary of peace within your mind. Lie comfortably and bring your attention to 5 distinct blessings in your life. Let each one fill you with genuine warmth. First, whisper gratitude for your body's wisdom and its constant work on your behalf. Second, appreciate the comfort and safety of your resting place. Third, thank the day for its lessons and gifts. Fourth, acknowledge the love that flows through your life. Fifth, express gratitude for the renewal that sleep brings. Feel how each expression of appreciation creates a gentle smile within your being. Let this peaceful vibration carry you into dreams, knowing that your cells dance in harmony with your grateful heart. This practice transforms your sleep into a powerful elixir of youth, allowing your body to access its deepest resources for renewal and regeneration. Chapter 7. The Music of Cells. In a small apartment overlooking a quiet street, Walter sat with his violin resting in his lap. For years he had chased technical perfection, forcing his fingers through complex arrangements until they ached. His pursuit of mastery had become a battle with himself, with his instrument, with the very music he once loved. Each practice session left him drained, his body tense with frustration. One evening, as twilight painted the walls in soft hues, Walter set aside his sheet music. Instead of launching into another demanding piece, he drew his bow across the strings in a single, pure note. The sound floated through the room like incense, and something within him began to unwind. That night, he played not to perfect a piece, but to listen, truly listen, to each note's resonance. The universe speaks in vibration. Every atom of your being dances to an eternal symphony, each cell humming its own unique frequency. When you align yourself with harmonious sounds, you tap into the original rhythm that shaped matter from energy. This is not merely poetic metaphor. It is the physics of existence itself. As Walter discovered, forcing creates resistance, while flowing creates resonance. Your body responds not to the complexity of sound, but to its purity of intention. A simple tone, offered with presence, can restructure the electromagnetic field of your cells more powerfully than the most intricate symphony played without heart. In the weeks that followed, Walter met Sophia, a dancer who had been diagnosed with a chronic condition. Rather than surrendering to despair, she had created a daily ritual of dancing to a single beloved melody. "I let the music move through me," she explained, her eyes bright with inner light. "It's like each note knows exactly where to go, which parts of me need healing." Sophia understood instinctively what ancient healers knew. Sound travels where hands cannot reach. It penetrates every tissue, every membrane, every microscopic space within you. When you allow yourself to become an instrument of pure tone, you open channels for life force to flow unimpeded. The body you inhabit is not solid matter, but crystallized sound. Every organ, every bone, every drop of blood vibrates at its optimal frequency when in health. Through conscious use of sound, you can restore this original harmony, allowing your cells to remember their inherent perfection. What Sophia and Walter both discovered was the difference between imposing sound and allowing it to emerge. True healing music doesn't force. It invites. It doesn't command. It calls forth. Like water finding its natural course, healing vibrations will flow to wherever they are needed most. Ancient practice of tonal renewal. Each morning, find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and allow a simple tune to arise naturally from within. Perhaps just 3 or 4 notes that feel soothing to your soul. Begin to hum this melody softly, focusing not on making music, but on feeling the vibration move through your body. Let the sound travel from your throat down into your chest, through your abdomen, into your limbs. Feel it rippling through skin and marrow, awakening each cell it touches. Continue for several minutes, allowing the tone to guide you into deeper states of harmony and renewal. This is not a performance. It is a communion with your body's innate wisdom. Through this practice, you remind every atom of your being that it is part of an eternal symphony, forever young, forever renewing itself in the dance of creation. Chapter 8. The Gentle Art of Letting Go. In a small cottage among ancient oaks, Elsie lived with memories that weighed like stones in her heart. Each morning she would wake to find her shoulders rigid and her fingers curled inward, as though protecting old wounds. The bitterness she carried from years past had become a physical presence, threading through her muscles and settling in her joints like winter frost. The pain that began as emotional grew into something more tangible. Her body spoke the language of her heart's distress, knees that refused to bend with ease, a back that protested simple movements, and hands that ached with each attempt to open fully. Yet Elsie held on to these hurts, believing they justified her suffering. Within every cell of your body dwells an ancient wisdom. The understanding that forgiveness is not merely an emotional act, but a physical liberation. When you harbor resentment, your body responds by creating barriers, tensions, and blockages in its natural flow of energy. These manifestations of emotional pain become physical reality through the law of attraction, drawing more discomfort to match the frequency of your inner turmoil. Consider how water flows freely until it meets resistance. Similarly, life force moves through your body until it encounters the dams built by unforgiveness. Each grudge you hold becomes a stone in that dam, each bitter memory another barrier to your natural state of well-being. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, has designed your body to flow like a clear stream. But this can only happen when you release what blocks the current. The transformation begins the moment you choose to loosen your grip on past hurts. As Elsie learned to soften her heart toward those who had wounded her, something remarkable occurred. The tight knots in her shoulders began to unwind. Her joints, long resistant to movement, started to remember their natural flexibility. The process wasn't immediate. Healing rarely is. But it was profound. In the house next door lived Sophia, a woman whose eyes sparkled despite having endured losses that would embitter many. One evening, As Elsie watched Sophia tending her garden with ease and grace, she gathered the courage to ask her secret. "The heart cannot hold love and resentment at once," Sophia shared, holding up her hand. "See how my fingers cannot grasp new blessings when clenched around old hurts? We must open to release before we can receive." This simple wisdom illuminated the path forward. Just as a clenched fist cannot receive gifts, a heart gripping old grievances cannot welcome new joy. Your body responds to this spiritual law with absolute precision. What you refuse to release, it holds within its tissues. The practice of forgiveness is not about forgetting or condoning past actions. Rather, it is an act of cellular liberation. When you choose to release the energy of past hurts, you literally transform the chemistry of your body. The law of attraction then brings experiences that match your new vibration of freedom. Sacred practice. At twilight, write freely of your burdens, then release them to the universe. Burn or bury the page, honoring the growth gained. Chapter 9. The Radiance of Food. In a bustling city cafe, Norman would gulp down his meals while scrolling through messages on his phone. Food had become mere fuel, consumed without thought or gratitude. Each hurried bite left him feeling somehow emptier than before, despite the fullness in his stomach. Though he ate well, vitality eluded him, his complexion dull, his energy wavering like a candle in wind. The wisdom of the ages whispers that food is more than mere matter. It is light, transformed, waiting to be awakened by your consciousness. When you eat without presence, you receive only a fraction of the nourishment available. Your cells respond not just to what you eat, but to the quality of attention you bring to each meal. The law of attraction operates even at this most basic level of sustenance. The vibration you hold while eating becomes one with the food you consume. Rushed, distracted eating attracts a scattered absorption of nutrients. But when you bring your full presence to a meal, you activate the hidden potential within each morsel. Consider how a ray of sunlight, focused through a magnifying glass, intensifies in power. Similarly, your attention acts as a lens, focusing the life force within food. Every bite contains the story of sun and soil, of rain and time. Yet these stories remain unread when you eat unconsciously. Your body yearns not just for nutrients, but for the conscious recognition of the miracle each meal represents. As Norman learned to pause before eating, to breathe deeply and observe the colors, textures, and aromas before him, something shifted. His digestion improved, and with it came a steady energy he hadn't known was possible. The simple act of paying attention transformed his meals from obligation to communion. In a small restaurant across town worked Xavier, a chef who had lost his passion for cooking. Exhaustion had become his constant companion, despite creating elaborate meals daily. One morning, watching his grandmother prepare a simple soup with complete devotion, he witnessed the ancient art of infusing food with love. "Each ingredient," she told him, her hands moving with gentle precision, "carries the light of life. Your attention either dims or brightens this light." Her soup, though made from humble vegetables, seemed to glow with vitality. Xavier began to cook differently then, treating each vegetable he chopped, each herb he crushed, as sacred. He blessed his creations with gratitude, and soon customers commented on the unusual energy they felt after eating his food. More remarkably, his own exhaustion lifted, replaced by a steady radiance. Your food becomes what your attention makes of it. When you eat consciously, you participate in a transformation more miraculous than any alchemist's dream, the conversion of matter into life force. The law of attraction ensures that mindful eating multiplies nourishment, while unconscious consumption diminishes it. Sacred practice. Before each meal, pause with gratitude, breathe deeply, and welcome your food as nourishing light into every cell. Chapter 10. The Present Moment's Fountain. In the quiet streets of an ancient village, there lived a woman named Hazel who spent decades pursuing the illusion of eternal youth. Each morning she would study her reflection, counting new lines that appeared like unwelcome visitors upon her face. Her bathroom cabinet overflowed with creams promising to turn back time, yet the more desperately she grasped at youth, the faster it seemed to slip away. One autumn morning, as leaves danced outside her window, Hazel noticed an elderly woman sitting peacefully in the village square. The woman's face bore countless lines, yet she radiated a timeless beauty that transcended age. Drawn by this mysterious presence, Hazel approached her. "You seek what cannot be found in mirrors," the woman said softly, her eyes twinkling. "Time exists only in thought, my child. Age is but a story we tell ourselves." This wisdom sparked something deep within Hazel's consciousness. She began to observe how her body responded when she released her grip on time. In moments of pure presence, while tending her garden or watching the sunset, her cells seemed to dance with renewed vitality. Her obsession with aging melted away as she learned to inhabit each moment fully. The law of attraction operates beyond the confines of linear time. When you resist aging, you magnetize its appearance. When you embrace the eternal now, you align with the ageless essence of your being. Your cells respond not to the passage of hours, but to the quality of your presence. The ancient masters understood that time is a construct of the mind. In reality, there exists only this moment, pure, pristine, and forever new. Your body knows this truth. It lives not in yesterday's worries or tomorrow's fears, but in the boundless now. Along the winding path that led to the village temple, Hazel often visited her mentor, an aging monk who moved with the grace of flowing water. One day, he shared a teaching that would transform her understanding forever. "See this stream," he said, pointing to the crystal-clear water that flowed nearby. "It knows nothing of past or future. Where there are no stones of regret or anxiety to disturb its flow, it remains perfectly clear. Your body is like this stream. In pure presence, it remembers its eternal nature." The truth resonates. Immortality cannot be found in the future or recovered from the past. It exists only in the depth of now. When you release the mental construct of time, your body responds by expressing its natural radiance. The ancient practice passed down through generations reveals this wisdom. Several times throughout your day, pause mid-thought, draw a conscious breath, and declare with quiet certainty, "Now is forever." Feel how your body lightens as though shedding the weight of time itself. In this simple act, you align with the ageless current that flows through all existence. This practice dissolves the illusion of aging by returning you to the truth of your eternal nature. Your body responds not to the passing of years, but to the depth of your presence in each sacred moment. Part 2. The Transformation of Energy. Chapter 11. The Pulse of Gratitude. In the warmth of morning light, you uncover a truth known to masters through the ages. Gratitude flows like nectar through the body's sacred chambers. Let us explore this wisdom through the tale of Dorothy, whose simple practice unveiled the fountain of vitality within. Dorothy began each day by opening her leather-bound journal, inscribing her heart's appreciation onto its chapters. At first, she wrote mechanically, thankful for shelter, food, family. But as weeks passed, something extraordinary occurred. Her voice, once weighted with weariness, began to carry notes of spring. Those who spoke with her remarked on its melodious quality, as though youth itself had returned to her throat. The law of attraction responds to gratitude like flowers to sunlight. When you genuinely appreciate the gifts of life, you align with the frequency of abundance. Your cells vibrate with this appreciation, and that which you bless multiplies. Dorothy discovered that her simple practice of giving thanks was actually an invitation for renewal. Each expression of gratitude sends ripples through the quantum field, instructing your body's intelligence to replicate that which brings joy. This is not mere poetry. It is the physics of consciousness manifesting in flesh. Your appreciation becomes the blueprint from which your body builds its reality. Along the same street lived Thomas, whose garden had withered under neglect. Inspired by Dorothy's transformation, he began speaking words of thanks to each plant, acknowledging their presence in his life. Within months, not only did his garden flourish with unprecedented vigor, but his own vitality matched the garden's renaissance. His arthritis eased, his complexion brightened, and his eyes sparkled with renewed purpose. This symbiotic relationship between gratitude and regeneration reveals a profound truth. That which you appreciate, appreciates. Just as Thomas's garden responded to his thankful attention, your body answers the call of genuine appreciation. Every thank you becomes a seed of renewal planted in fertile cellular soil. The power of gratitude lies not in the words themselves, but in the feeling they evoke. When you truly delight in the miracle of your existence, you transmit a frequency that instructs your body to perpetuate that which brings such joy. This is why masters of longevity have always paired their physical practices with heart-centered appreciation. The ancient practice that opens this gateway requires nothing but your sincere attention. Each morning and night, take your journal and write 3 living gratitudes, each beginning with the words, "I delight in." Let authentic joy infuse your writing. Feel the pleasure of appreciation course through your being as you form each letter. This is not mere writing. It is a ritual of renewal, a communion with the force that sustains all life. This practice isn't about manifesting what you lack, but celebrating what already flows through your life. As you recognize the abundance present in each moment, you align with the eternal current of creation. Your cells respond to this alignment by expressing their highest potential for vitality and renewal. Chapter 12. The Laughter in the Bones. In the ancient streets of a timeless village, Clyde, a carpenter known for his skilled hands, found himself increasingly bound by the stiffness in his joints. Each morning, the simple act of climbing down from his bed became a solemn ritual of winces and sighs. His bones seemed to protest every movement, as though they had forgotten their natural dance with life. One dawn, while massaging his aching knees, Clyde recalled a childhood memory that made him laugh, the time he had tried to teach his cat to swim. To his amazement, as laughter bubbled up from his belly, a warmth spread through his joints. The rigid resistance softened, if only for a moment. This spark of discovery led him to experiment further. Here lies a truth as old as the mountains. Your body responds not just to thought, but to the vibration of joy itself. When you infuse your physical form with lightness of spirit, every cell awakens to its original blueprint of vitality. The law of attraction works not only through conscious intention, but through the frequency of your emotional state. Your bones, those seemingly solid pillars of your existence, are in fact rivers of living energy, constantly renewing themselves according to the songs you sing to them. Each thought you direct toward your body becomes a note in this grand symphony of renewal. When you approach your physical form with heaviness, it responds in kind, becoming dense and unyielding. But when you bring the light touch of humor, your very marrow remembers its fluid nature. In a neighboring village lived Sophia, who discovered this truth in her own way. After years of chronic pain, she began attending the local theater, where comedies were performed each week. At first, she went simply to distract herself, but soon noticed something remarkable. Her body felt most alive during moments of genuine laughter. The performers' jest-filled stories seemed to unlock something within her, transforming discomfort into ease. Your body understands the language of joy more deeply than any medicine. When you share a laugh with your physical form, you remind it of its inherent vitality. This is not mere distraction from pain. It is transformation at the cellular level. Every chuckle sends ripples of renewal through your biological matrix, awakening the remembrance of wholeness. The practice of joyful communion. Each morning, place your hands on your body and share a joyful story, letting laughter spread like healing light through every cell. Chapter 13. The Magnetic Heart. In a sunlit studio overlooking quiet gardens, Sadie stood before her mirror, applying creams and serums with determined precision. Despite her dedicated beauty rituals, something felt missing, a vital spark that no external treatment could capture. Her reflection showed the careful work of her regimens, yet failed to radiate the inner luminosity she sought. One morning, while sitting in meditation, she encountered an ancient teaching about the heart's electromagnetic field, a force thousands of times stronger than the brain's. This invisible but measurable energy creates ripples that extend far beyond the physical body, instructing every cell in its influence. When you align your breath with your heart's rhythm, you tap into the most powerful manifestation center in your physical form. This is not metaphor, but measurable science. Your heart generates a field that can be detected several feet from your body. This field carries the signature of your emotional state, broadcasting it to every cell and indeed into the quantum fabric of reality itself. Through gentle practice, Sadie discovered that by breathing slowly and deeply, while focusing loving attention in her heart center, her entire being began to synchronize. Her cells seemed to listen and respond, like flowers turning toward the sun. Youth and beauty, she realized, flow not from the outside in, but from the heart outward. In a village far to the east lived Maya, an artist known for her portraits that seemed to capture not just appearances, but the very essence of her subjects. Those who sat for her would often remark that they felt more beautiful afterward, as though her brush had awakened something dormant within them. Maya's secret was simple. Before touching brush to canvas, she would spend several moments in heart-centered breathing, allowing love to flow through her hands into her work. She painted not with technique alone, but with genuine affection for each subject. Through this practice, she discovered that beauty emerges most naturally when called forth by love. This truth extends beyond art. Your body responds to the quality of attention you give it. When you approach your physical form with mechanical improvement in mind, it responds with mechanical results. But when you lead with heart coherence, cells awaken to their original pattern of perfection. The heart knows nothing of age. It beats in eternal present, neither rushing toward future nor dwelling in past. By aligning with this wisdom, you tap into ageless beauty that radiates from within. Your heart becomes a lighthouse, guiding your cells back to their inherent radiance. The sacred practice of heart coherence. Place a hand on your heart, breathe deeply, and feel gratitude ripple through every cell for its timeless, life-giving rhythm. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Dance of Balance. In the bustling streets of a merchant city, Ralph rushed between meetings, his shoulders hunched beneath invisible weights. Each evening found him collapsed in exhaustion, muscles knotted from carrying burdens no eyes could see. His days blurred together in a tangle of deadlines and demands until his body began to whisper, then shout, its protest through aches that no amount of rest seemed to cure. One dawn, passing the city gardens, he witnessed an old master moving through ancient poses with liquid grace. The master's movements flowed like water over stones, each gesture precise yet effortless. Something in Ralph's chest loosened at the sight. When the master beckoned, Ralph found himself stepping onto the dewy grass, his briefcase forgotten. Within your form dwells a natural harmony that time cannot touch. This truth reveals itself through movement aligned with breath, through gestures that honor rather than force. Your body yearns to remember its inherent balance, the same equilibrium that allows trees to grow tall without strain, that enables birds to soar without struggle. When movement springs from stillness, when action arises from centered peace, the body recalls its original blueprint of vitality. Each cell contains this memory of fluid grace. Through conscious motion you awaken this cellular wisdom, allowing life force to flow unimpeded through vessels and meridians that modern life has compressed. The body does not age from movement, but from stagnation. It does not wear from use, but from misuse, from the countless moments spent rigid with stress, frozen in fear, or collapsed in resignation. Yet within every muscle and joint lies the potential for renewal through returned symmetry. Along the mountain passes of the ancient Silk Road, a young woman named May earned her living as a tightrope walker. Those who watched her glide across the hemp ropes strung between cliffs spoke of her timeless face, how she seemed to glow from within. When asked her secret, May would smile and say, "I do not fight the rope or the wind. I dance with them. In perfect balance there is no age, only eternal present." May's wisdom echoes through the ages. True balance cannot be forced or gripped. It must be received, welcomed, allowed to flow through the body like music through an instrument. In this state of fluid equilibrium, the cells remember their natural vitality. They recall how to dance with gravity rather than resist it, how to move with life rather than against it. The practice. At sunrise, stand rooted, sway like a tree in the breeze, and feel joy and renewal flowing through every cell. Chapter 15. The Fire of Intention. In the quiet hours before sunrise, Lucille sits in her garden, eyes closed, a soft smile playing at her lips. With each breath, she envisions streams of radiant light flowing through her body, illuminating every cell like tiny stars. This practice, once born of curiosity, has transformed into a sacred ritual that awakens her entire being. Day by day, those around her notice subtle changes. Her skin seems to glow from within. Her movements flow with renewed grace. Her eyes sparkle with vitality. Yet the true miracle unfolds beneath the surface, where consciousness meets matter in an eternal dance of renewal. Your body is more than mere flesh and bone. It is light condensed into form, energy woven into matter. Each cell holds the wisdom of stars, waiting to be awakened by the power of focused attention. When you direct loving awareness into your physical form, you speak directly to the intelligence that orchestrates life itself. Thought, when infused with feeling, becomes a living prayer that moves through your body like music through water. Every cell responds to the frequency of your consciousness, either contracting in fear or expanding in love. This is not metaphor but mechanism, the very foundation of how spirit shapes matter. Your body's wisdom extends beyond the boundaries of conventional understanding. It knows how to transmute thought into biological reality, converting the energy of intention into cellular renewal. This process accelerates when you combine clear visualization with deep emotional resonance. In a sun-filled studio across the city, an aging sculptor named Thomas discovered this truth through his art. His hands, once stiff with arthritis, began to transform as he worked with clay. But unlike before, he now shaped his creations with deliberate awareness, imagining healing light flowing through his fingers into each piece. "I no longer see myself molding mere earth," he shared with wonder in his voice. "I shape light itself, and as I do, the light shapes me in return." Over months, his hands regained their suppleness, his joints remembered their flexibility, and his work took on a luminous quality that seemed to transcend the material realm. Thomas's experience reveals a profound truth. When you align your thoughts with the intelligence of the body, while holding the emotion of pure creation, you participate in your own renewal. Every visualization becomes a blueprint. Every feeling becomes a force for regeneration. The secret lies not in the intensity of your effort, but in the purity of your attention. Just as a garden flourishes under gentle, consistent care, your cells respond to regular doses of loving awareness. They remember their original pattern of perfection when bathed in the light of conscious intention. The practice. At daybreak, sit in stillness and visualize golden light filling your body, awakening each cell to renewal and endless potential. Chapter 16. The Essence of Ease. In a bustling marketplace, Floyd carried tension in his shoulders like heavy stones. Each morning, he would rise before dawn, muscles already clenched, ready to battle through another day. His determination to succeed, to achieve, to progress had become a constant strain. Every action measured, every moment pressed into service. Yet the more he pushed, the more life seemed to resist. The universe whispers its wisdom in unexpected places. For Floyd, revelation came through watching an aged tea master prepare his morning brew. The master's movements flowed like water, unhurried yet precise. "Your grip on the cup is too tight," the master observed. "The tea knows how to pour itself." When you release the belief that everything must be controlled, mastered, and conquered, a profound transformation begins. The law of attraction responds not to force, but to alignment. Like a river finding its natural course, your energy flows most powerfully when unobstructed by effort. Tension is resistance made manifest in flesh. It tells the universe, "I must make this happen," instead of, "I allow this to unfold." Each worried thought, each anxious grip on outcomes, creates ripples of resistance through your cellular memory. Your body responds to this discord by aging, for aging itself is simply accumulated resistance to life's natural flow. Yet the power to reverse this pattern lies in surrender, not a surrender of dreams or ambitions, but of the belief that you must strain to deserve them. The universe operates through the principle of least action. Light travels the most efficient path, water finds the easiest course, and planets orbit in perfect harmony without effort. One morning, while watching leaves dance on a breeze, Floyd understood. He had been trying to push the river of life instead of floating upon it. As his shoulders softened, his breath deepened, and for the first time in years, he felt truly present in his body. In the mountains lived a wise woman known for her radiant vitality despite her advanced years. Travelers would journey far to learn her secret, expecting complex rituals or strict disciplines. Instead, they found her by the river, watching the waters polish rough stones into gleaming gems. "See how the river never strains," she would say. "It simply flows, and in that flowing performs miracles. The stones do not fight to become smooth. They allow themselves to be transformed." This truth echoes through your own being. When you release the grip of effort, your cells remember their natural state of renewal. Youth is not a battle to be won, but a dance to be joined. The body knows how to rejuvenate. Your only task is to stop interrupting its wisdom with worry and strain. The practice of effortless being is not passive. It is deeply powerful. It requires trust in the intelligence that beats your heart and grows your nails without your conscious direction. This same intelligence knows how to maintain your vitality if only you will step out of its way. Several times daily, release your shoulders, smile inwardly, and murmur, "I move with ease." Feel how this simple surrender melts years of accumulated tension, allowing your natural radiance to shine through. Chapter 17. The Language of Touch. In a bustling city filled with hurried footsteps and digital screens, Betty lived surrounded by people yet touched by none. Days merged into weeks as she moved through life, maintaining careful distance, her shoulders gradually tensing, her smile becoming distant. Like many others, she had forgotten the ancient wisdom that bodies need more than food and exercise. They need the sacred medicine of human touch. One morning at her local cafe, Betty encountered an old friend who, without hesitation, wrapped her in a warm embrace. In that moment, something extraordinary occurred. The tension she had carried for months melted away, and a forgotten vitality sparked within her cells. This simple act of connection awakened what the mystics have always known. Touch carries the frequency of life itself. The universe speaks through physical connection, transmitting messages of safety, belonging, and renewal. When skin meets skin with pure intention, an ancient dialogue begins between bodies, one that predates language itself. This medium of exchange carries what the sages term divine current, the very force that animated the first heartbeat. Through touch, you access a power greater than mere physical contact. Your hands become instruments of the universal life force, channels through which healing energy flows. Each gesture of kindness sends ripples through the quantum field, instructing cells to remember their original blueprint of wholeness. Betty discovered this truth more deeply when she began volunteering at a local senior center. Each day she offered simple acts of physical kindness, a gentle hand on a shoulder, fingers intertwined during conversation, the steady support of her arm during walks. As she gave comfort to others, she noticed her own body responding, as if every touch she offered returned to her multiplied. The elders she worked with began to show subtle transformations. Their eyes brightened, their movements became more fluid, their voices stronger. Yet the most remarkable change occurred within Betty herself. Her skin gained a subtle radiance, her energy expanded, and she felt herself growing younger with each passing day. An elderly woman named Rose shared a story that crystallized this wisdom. In her youth, Rose's grandmother had taught her that hands could speak what words could not reach. "When you touch with love," she would say, "you remind the body of its immortal nature." Rose had lived by this teaching, and at 92, her presence radiated a timeless vitality that defied conventional aging. This truth echoes through the ages. Physical affection carries codes of regeneration. When you extend touch with conscious awareness, you activate an ageless wisdom within the body. Each cell awakens to its connection with the whole, remembering its original state of perfection. The law of attraction works not just through thought and feeling, but through physical connection. As you offer comfort to others, you magnetize vitality. As you extend gentleness, you attract grace. Your body becomes both transmitter and receiver of life's renewing current. The wisdom keepers of old understood that touch was not merely comfort. It was communion with the divine force flowing through all living things. They knew that physical connection, offered with pure intent, could dissolve the illusion of separation and awaken the remembrance of eternal youth. Ancient practice. Each day, offer a mindful, loving touch, feeling the shared flow of vitality and renewal between you and another. Chapter 18. The Silence Between Thoughts. In a bustling village lived a merchant named Leonard who yearned to master meditation. Each morning he would position himself perfectly, straighten his spine, and attempt to force his mind into tranquility. Yet peace eluded him, like water slipping through grasping fingers. His frustration grew until his temples throbbed with the effort of trying to be still. The law of silence speaks in whispers that transform the very fabric of your being. When you cease the endless reaching for tranquility and simply allow it to emerge naturally, you tap into an ancient wellspring of renewal. This silence is not mere absence of sound. but presence of power. The same force that grows flowers without noise and turns planets without fanfare. Your body knows this language of silence intimately. Each cell contains a chamber of quietude where regeneration occurs without effort or strain. When you grant yourself permission to rest in this stillness, you activate the same restorative frequency that operates in nature's deepest sleep and most profound awakenings. The mistake lies in believing that silence must be conquered or achieved. Instead, it awaits your recognition, ever present beneath the surface of thought and activity. Like the space between heartbeats or the pause between breaths, this silence forms the foundation of all renewal. It is here, in the gaps between effort, that your body remembers its timeless nature. By the river's edge sat Amara, who had struggled with aging until she discovered the art of simply being. Each afternoon she would rest beside the still waters, making no attempt to meditate or achieve any particular state. She simply allowed herself to be present, as natural as the reeds swaying in the breeze or the clouds drifting overhead. Gradually, she noticed something extraordinary. Her face in the water's reflection appeared softer, more luminous. The very act of surrendering to silence had begun to dissolve the lines of worry that time had etched upon her features. She had stumbled upon a profound truth. When we cease trying to capture silence and instead let it capture us, we align with the ageless rhythm of the universe. The secret lies not in mastering silence, but in letting silence master you. Your body responds not to forced stillness, but to the gentle permission to simply be. In this space of allowance, cellular restoration occurs naturally, without effort or intervention. Ancient practice. Sit quietly at sunrise and sunset, resting in effortless breath and gentle stillness, allowing your body to soften and renew. Chapter 19. The Smile Within Cells. A gentle breeze carried the scent of jasmine through the marketplace where Pearl walked each morning. Unlike others hurrying past with downcast eyes, she lifted her face to each person she encountered, offering a smile as natural as sunlight. At first, she noticed only subtle shifts, a softening around others' eyes, a slight lifting of their shoulders. Yet as days passed, something remarkable unfolded. The law of energy exchange operates through the simplest gestures. When you offer a genuine smile, you initiate a current of vitality that flows between beings. This is not mere sentiment, but a measurable transmission of life force. Your smile sends a signal of safety and connection that reaches far deeper than conscious awareness, touching the primitive brain where healing and regeneration begin. The muscles of your face are connected to neural networks that influence your entire bodily system. When you smile, you activate pathways that release beneficial chemicals throughout your body. These molecules of emotion travel through your bloodstream, instructing each cell to vibrate at the frequency of wellness. This is why a simple smile can transform not only your mood, but your physical vitality. What you may not realize is that your smile creates a field of positive resonance that extends beyond your physical form. Like ripples on a pond, this energy touches everyone in your vicinity, initiating a cascade of beneficial responses in their bodies as well. When you smile, you become a transmitter of regenerative frequency. In a small schoolroom across town, Miss Chen discovered this truth through unexpected circumstances. Her classroom of anxious students had become increasingly restless and unfocused. Rather than attempting to control the chaos through stern words, she made a curious choice. She sat at her desk and began to smile, not a forced grin, but an expression of genuine warmth and acceptance. The shift began subtly. First one student's fidgeting eased, then another's shoulders relaxed. Within minutes, the entire room's energy had transformed. The children hadn't been told to calm down or behave differently. They had simply responded to the silent alchemy of her smile, their nervous systems automatically attuning to her peaceful frequency. This revelation speaks to the deeper truth about your physical form. It is an energy system in constant communication with all other energy systems around it. Your smile is not merely a movement of muscles, but a transmission of life-affirming vibration. When you understand this, you realize that smiling is not just an expression of happiness, but a catalyst for transformation. The power lies not in forcing a false expression, but in allowing genuine warmth to flow through you. Even when alone, your smile sends messages of wellness throughout your own system. Your organs respond to this signal, each cell awakening to its natural state of vitality and regeneration. Ancient practice. Pause 3 times a day. Let a gentle smile arise, and feel its light relax and revitalize every cell of your body. Chapter 20. The Faith in Possibility. The merchant Dean stood before his aging reflection, counting the silver strands multiplying at his temples. For years he had accepted the story that time would inevitably claim his vitality. Yet on this particular morning, as sunlight filtered through his window, a strange knowing stirred within him. What if his body possessed wisdom beyond his understanding? In that moment of wondering, Dean recalled the ancient teaching. The body is not a machine wearing down, but a garden responding to the gardener's beliefs. Every cell listens to the stories we tell about ourselves. When we declare limitation, our biology conforms to that expectation. When we proclaim possibility, our very molecules begin to dance to a different rhythm. The truth reveals itself with elegant simplicity. Your body is not aging against your will, but manifesting precisely what you believe it must. Those who age rapidly often carry the heavy conviction that deterioration is inevitable. Those who maintain vitality hold a different truth in their hearts, that the body is infinitely renewable when aligned with divine intelligence. There lived a woman named Rose in a distant village who demonstrated this principle with remarkable clarity. For 40 years she suffered from chronic pain that no physician could explain. Yet one morning she woke with an unshakable knowing that her body could heal itself. She began speaking to her cells with tender confidence, expecting them to remember their original blueprint of wholeness. Within months, her pain vanished completely, leaving doctors baffled but Rose unsurprised. Her unwavering faith had rewritten her physical story. The message whispers clearly, your body manifests your deepest beliefs about what is possible. Every thought you think sends ripples through your cellular matrix. When you declare renewal, your cells align with that frequency. When you expect decline, your biology follows suit. The power to shape your physical experience has always resided within your own consciousness. This is not magical thinking, but rather the most practical application of universal law. Just as a garden flourishes under the gardener's loving attention, your body thrives when you believe in its innate intelligence. Every morning when you wake, you have the opportunity to plant new seeds of possibility in the fertile soil of your being. The ancient practice. Each morning as the sun rises, stand quietly and declare with calm certainty, I am open to miracles inhabiting my body now. Feel these words resonating through every cell, awakening the infinite intelligence that has always dwelled within you. Let this declaration become the new software through which your body operates. Part 3. The Embodiment of Eternity. Chapter 21. The River of Love. A gentle dawn spilled through Marjorie's window as she sat in quiet contemplation. Closing her eyes, she placed her hands over her heart and began an inward journey that would transform her understanding of vitality. Rather than seeing her body as a complex machine, she discovered the profound truth that each organ, each tissue yearned for acknowledgement. Your body holds an ancient wisdom. It responds not merely to chemical signals, but to the subtle frequencies of love. When you direct conscious appreciation toward your physical form, you activate a force more potent than any external remedy. This force, known to mystics throughout the ages, awakens the eternal blueprint sleeping within your cells. As Marjorie explored this practice daily, something remarkable unfolded. The simple act of sending loving thoughts to her liver, kidneys, and bones created a tangible warmth that seemed to melt years of tension. Her skin began to radiate a glow that no cream could replicate. She had stumbled upon a truth. Internal affection produces external youth. The body's intelligence recognizes and responds to every loving thought you direct toward it. When you shower your organs with gratitude, they answer with renewed vitality. This is not metaphor, but metabolic reality. Your cells literally vibrate differently when bathed in appreciation. In a distant mountain village lived a healer named Sophia, who understood this principle deeply. She never spoke of techniques or treatments. Instead, she would sit quietly with those who sought her help, silently channeling pure compassion toward their ailments. Those who encountered her often remarked that she seemed to grow more radiant with each passing year, despite her advancing age. Her secret lay not in external preparations, but in the constant stream of love she directed both inward and outward. The universe whispers this truth. Love is not merely emotion, but energy. When you direct it consciously through your physical form, you tap into the same force that keeps stars burning and planets spinning. Your body recognizes this frequency as its natural state of being. Think of your organs as beloved children, each one performing its sacred duty without complaint. Your heart beats tirelessly, your lungs expand and contract in perfect rhythm, your digestive system transmutes food into energy, all without conscious direction. When you acknowledge this miraculous orchestra with gratitude, you strengthen its harmony. The ancient practice. Find a quiet moment each day to lie comfortably and begin a journey of internal appreciation. Starting with your heart, send silent thank yous to every organ. Move slowly downward, lungs, liver, stomach, kidneys, and all the way to your toes. Feel the warmth of gratitude filling each area you address. Let your entire body bask in this gentle rain of acknowledgement. This is not merely meditation. It is medicine of the highest order. Remember, Every cell in your body listens to your thoughts. When you speak to them with love, they respond with renewed vitality. This practice, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, holds the power to awaken the eternal youth coded within your very essence. Chapter 22. The Temple of Movement. On an unremarkable morning, Virgil stepped outside his cottage, ready for his usual walk. His joints felt stiff, his movements mechanical, a routine he had performed countless times before without thought. But this day would prove different. As he began his familiar path through the winding streets, an old woman sitting in her garden caught his eye. Her movements, though slow, carried an unmistakable grace. Each gesture flowed into the next as she tended her roses, her face serene with presence. Something in her deliberate dance awakened something in Virgil. The next day he chose to walk differently. Instead of rushing through his morning exercise, he noticed the way his feet met the earth. With each step he felt the ground rising to meet him, supporting his weight, holding him in perfect balance. His breath naturally deepened, and his awareness expanded. Days turned to weeks as Virgil transformed his walks into moving meditation. Each step became a silent communion with the present moment. His body responded. Muscles that had grown tense began to soften. Joints that had stiffened began to flow. The simple act of walking mindfully awakened a forgotten lightness in his being. The universe whispers this truth. Motion aligned with attention becomes a prayer. When you walk with presence, every cell in your body awakens to its own divine dance. Your blood flows with renewed vigor. Your breath finds its natural rhythm, and your very bones remember their innate wisdom. In a village far from Virgil's home lived Thomas, a gardener whose approach to tending flowers transcended mere cultivation. Between rows of blooming life, Thomas moved as if conducting an orchestra of nature. His arms swayed like willows in the wind, his steps light as morning dew. Those who watched him work often remarked that the flowers seemed to turn toward him, as if drawn to the joy emanating from his movements. As seasons passed, while other gardeners showed the wear of their labor, Thomas remained supple and bright-eyed. His secret lay not in any special technique, but in the way he transformed work into worship, movement into meditation. Each gesture carried the lightness of love, each step the grace of gratitude. The body speaks the language of motion. When you move with conscious awareness, you write poetry with your cells. Every step can become a blessing, every gesture a celebration of life's eternal dance. Age is not a sentence of stiffness. It is an invitation to move with greater wisdom, to let each motion arise from the well of presence within. Ancient practice. Walk quietly, feeling each step as gratitude and love, remembering your body as light in motion. Chapter 23. The Inner Sun. In the quiet hills beyond the city, Lois spent her mornings painting, yet felt disconnected from her art. Her canvases appeared lifeless, lacking the vibrant energy she yearned to express. One dawn, as she prepared her easel, an old woman appeared beside the stream where Lois worked. "Your brush seeks what already glows within," the woman said, settling beside her. She guided Lois to close her eyes and sense the warmth in her chest. Not just imagine it, but truly feel it. That golden light you sense, it flows through every cell, every vessel, every tissue of your being. Through daily practice, Lois discovered that this inner radiance wasn't metaphorical. It was a tangible force that could be directed and expanded. As she learned to nurture this light, her hormones balanced naturally. Her skin gained a subtle luminescence, and her entire being harmonized with an ancient rhythm. The universe speaks through light. It is the first language of creation, the pure expression of life force itself. When you awaken to your inner radiance, you tap into the same power that causes flowers to turn toward the sun and seeds to push through soil toward daylight. This light carries intelligence. It knows how to restore, how to balance, how to renew. In the mountains of a distant land lived Thomas, a painter whose works had lost their spark. Each morning, he positioned his easel by his window, waiting for inspiration. One day, rather than seeking light from without, he closed his eyes and allowed the sunlight to fill him completely. As warmth spread through his body, his brush moved with newfound purpose, creating works that seemed to glow from within. This simple shift, from seeking external illumination to recognizing internal radiance, transformed not only his art, but his entire being. His eyes grew bright, his movements fluid, his presence magnetic. Those who visited his studio often remarked that they felt bathed in warmth simply by standing near his paintings. The light you seek has never left you. It is the eternal spark of consciousness itself, waiting to be remembered and released. Your cells know this language of light. They respond instantly to its gentle touch. When you align with this inner sun, you activate healing frequencies that have existed since the dawn of creation. Sacred practice. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and breathe as golden light expands from your heart, filling your body with warmth, peace, and radiant remembrance. Chapter 24. The Whisper of Nature. In a world of endless motion, Francis found himself depleted, his energy scattered like autumn leaves in the wind. His days blurred together until a whispered wisdom led him to an ancient oak tree standing sentinel in the local park. Each morning, he began sitting beneath its sprawling branches, back pressed against its weathered bark. At first, he noticed nothing except the discomfort of the ground beneath him. Yet as days passed, something remarkable began to unfold. The tree's presence seemed to draw out his exhaustion, replacing it with a steady, quiet strength. His thoughts, once racing like startled birds, settled into peaceful rhythms. The earth holds a profound secret. It maintains perfect electrical balance, a natural frequency that restores all living things. When you connect directly with the soil, your body's electrical field harmonizes with this ancient pulse. This is not mystical thinking, but a measurable phenomenon that modern science calls grounding or earthing. Your body is an electrical being, constantly conducting energy through every cell and tissue. In the modern world, this delicate system becomes disrupted by artificial frequencies, stress, and disconnection from nature. Yet the earth offers her healing frequency freely, asking only that you remember to receive it. Think of yourself as a battery that needs regular recharging. The earth is the ultimate power source, providing the exact frequency your cells recognize and require. This connection doesn't just affect your energy levels, it influences your hormone production, inflammatory responses, and even the quality of your sleep. In a small garden on the other side of town, a young girl named Rose noticed her favorite daisy drooping, its petals curling inward as if in retreat from the world. Instead of accepting its decline, She sat beside it each afternoon, singing soft melodies she created just for her plant friend. To her parents' amazement, the flower began to lift its head, its stem straightening as if drawing strength from the child's pure, loving frequency. The daisy's revival wasn't coincidence or imagination. All living things respond to frequency, the vibrations of sound, emotion, and intention. The child's innocent song carried the perfect resonance to reawaken the flower's life force. Her presence, uncluttered by doubt or complexity, transmitted exactly what the plant needed to thrive. This simple truth extends to your own body. It responds to the frequencies you expose it to, whether from the earth, from sound, or from the energy fields of other living things. When you choose to align with nature's rhythms, you invite restoration at the deepest cellular level. Sacred practice. Stand barefoot on the earth, breathe deeply, and feel its healing energy rise through you, restoring balance, vitality, and gratitude. Chapter 25. The Art of Receiving. In a small village among rolling hills, Ethel served as the community's unofficial caretaker. Her doors remained open to all who sought comfort, her kitchen perpetually fragrant with fresh-baked bread meant for others' tables. From dawn until dusk, she poured herself into mending broken spirits and easing troubled hearts. Yet with each passing season, her own vitality dimmed like a candle burning at both ends. You see, the universe operates through cycles of giving and receiving. Just as the ocean both offers and accepts the river's waters, life energy must flow in both directions to maintain its sacred balance. When you consistently give, while refusing to receive, you create a blockage in this natural circulation. Your physical form reflects this eternal dance. Each cell contains receptors designed to both release and accept vital substances. When you deny yourself the grace of receiving, these receptors begin to close, disrupting the delicate harmony of your hormonal system. This manifests as exhaustion, accelerated aging, and diminished vitality. One day, as Ethel's strength waned to a whisper, her neighbor Sophia appeared at her door. "You've given so much," Sophia said, extending a basket of healing herbs and homemade remedies. "Now it's time for you to receive." Ethel's first instinct was to decline, but something in Sophia's gentle insistence made her pause. As she accepted the gift, an unexpected warmth spread through her body, as if every cell sighed in relief. In the days that followed, Ethel discovered that accepting help with grace opened channels of renewal she never knew existed. Her sleep deepened, her complexion brightened, and a forgotten lightness returned to her step. She learned that receiving was not a sign of weakness, but a completion of life's sacred circle. In another village lived a nurse named Rose, renowned for her healing touch. She tended to others day and night until illness confined her to bed. Stubborn in her independence, she refused all assistance, believing she alone should carry her burden. Her condition worsened until an old sage visited her bedside. "The body heals only when we honor its wisdom," the sage whispered, "and its wisdom lies in balance." Only when Rose finally allowed others to care for her did her recovery begin. Her surrender to receiving became the key that unlocked her healing. This truth echoes through the ages. Renewal requires both the exhale of giving and the inhale of receiving. Your body knows this dance intimately. When you resist receiving, you deny yourself the very nourishment needed for regeneration. Sacred practice. Whenever offered kindness, simply breathe and say, "Yes, thank you," without apology. Let this simple act become your gateway to cellular renewal. Feel how acceptance creates space for fresh vitality to flow through your being. Chapter 26. The Sacred Imagination. In a sunlit studio overlooking winding streets, Oscar sat quietly each morning, eyes closed, brushing his inner canvas with images of vitality. Though his joints had grown stiff with time, in his mind's eye he saw himself moving with the grace of flowing water. Day by day, his body began responding to these internal pictures, as though his cells were eager students absorbing their teacher's lessons. The power of imagination transcends mere fantasy. It speaks directly to the intelligence dwelling in every cell of your body. When you paint pictures in your mind with emotional vibrancy, you create templates that your physical form naturally moves toward. Your body does not distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Both generate identical chemical responses, triggering cascades of renewal throughout your systems. Consider how your heart rate quickens at a thrilling story, or how your mouth waters at the thought of a favorite meal. These responses demonstrate your body's willingness to follow the lead of your imagination. When you consistently envision yourself embodying radiant health and timeless vitality, you activate regenerative processes that begin reshaping your physical reality. In a bustling theater across town, an aging actress named Helena discovered this truth through her own practice. Before each performance, she would retreat to her dressing room, close her eyes, and imagine golden light streaming through every cell. Night after night, as she sustained these visions of vibrance, her audiences remarked on her seemingly ageless presence on stage. Her secret lay not in expensive creams or treatments, but in the consistent application of her creative vision. The life force flowing through you responds exquisitely to the pictures you hold in your mind. Just as a garden grows according to the seeds planted within it, your body flourishes in alignment with the images you nurture in your consciousness. When you choose to envision vitality, you literally instruct your cells to express their highest potential. Ancient practice of renewal. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and visualize golden light expanding from your heart, filling you with joy, vitality, and gratitude for your body's renewal. Chapter 27. The Spiral of Service. May lived alone in a small apartment, feeling the weight of solitude until she began visiting her elderly neighbors. At first, she thought she had little to offer beyond brief conversations and shared cups of tea. Yet with each visit, something remarkable unfolded. The more attention she gave to others, the more vitality coursed through her own being. When you direct loving energy outward, you tap into the infinite current of life force that sustains all creation. This energy does not deplete through sharing. Instead, it multiplies, like a candle lighting other candles without dimming its own flame. Service awakens dormant reservoirs of strength within you. Your body responds to acts of kindness by releasing hormones that promote healing and renewal. When you step outside yourself to ease another's burden, you align with the natural flow of universal energy. This alignment creates a circuit of well-being that nourishes both giver and receiver. May noticed that after spending time with her neighbors, her steps felt lighter, her smile came more easily, and her own concerns seemed to dissolve in the warmth of connection. She wasn't losing energy. She was gaining it through the sacred exchange of compassion. The wisdom of service lies in understanding that humans are not separate units, but interconnected expressions of the same life force. When you enhance the well-being of another, you inevitably enhance your own. This is not metaphor, but biology. Your cells respond to kindness by increasing their vibratory rate, accelerating their natural healing capacity. In a sun-filled studio across town, an artist named Thomas discovered this truth in his own way. He began donating his vibrant paintings to hospital corridors, hoping to bring color to sterile spaces. With each canvas he gifted, he felt a surge of creative energy that made his hands steadier, his vision clearer. The more art he gave away, the more his inspiration flourished. Patients would stop him in hallways to share how his colors lifted their spirits, and with each conversation Thomas felt years melting away from his face. Those who serve with pure intent tap into an ageless wisdom. Love circulated creates an endless loop of renewal. It is not the act itself, but the spirit behind it that generates this restoration. When you give without expectation of return, you open channels for grace to flow through you. Ancient practice of renewal. Perform one simple, joyful act of kindness each day, staying fully present and feeling your heart expand as you share in life's flow of care. Chapter 28. The Celestial Blueprint. In the depths of night, Harold lay awake, troubled by persistent discomfort that seemed to mock his efforts at healing. As moonlight filtered through his window, a remarkable vision emerged, a geometric pattern of light hovering above his form, pulsing with ethereal radiance. Within this luminous architecture, he recognized an ideal version of himself, whole and restored. The body you inhabit carries within it a perfect pattern, an immortal template of wholeness that exists beyond physical form. This divine blueprint represents your highest expression of vitality, encoded in the very fabric of your being. When illness or aging appear to distance you from this template, remember, the original pattern remains untouched, waiting to be acknowledged and embraced. Your physical form responds not merely to external interventions, but to internal recognition of this sacred geometry. As you align your awareness with this higher pattern, every cell awakens to its original instructions. The blueprint exists in a realm where age has no meaning, where each moment offers an opportunity for renewal through resonance with your perfect design. The ancient healers understood that restoration begins by attuning to this luminous architecture. They knew that within each person resides a map of perfection, accessible through the gateway of focused intention. This is not imagination, but remembrance, a return to the original pattern that time cannot erode. In a distant monastery, a monk named Chen discovered this truth through an unexpected channel. Struggling with chronic ailment, he spent hours in meditation, until one dawn he perceived a shimmering matrix of light, his body's perfect template. Instead of fighting his condition, he began communing with this radiant pattern daily. Gradually, his cells responded, reorganizing themselves according to this higher blueprint. Those who knew him spoke of a transformation that seemed to defy nature's ordinary course. This story reveals a profound truth. Your body knows its way back to wholeness when given the frequency of perfection to follow. Like a crystal reforming after dissolution, your physical form seeks alignment with its original design. This is not merely metaphor, but a law of energy. Form follows the blueprint held in consciousness. The restoration of your divine template requires only your willingness to recognize and resonate with it. As you attune to this perfect pattern, you invite your body to remember its inherent wholeness. Each cell carries this memory, waiting for the signal to realign with its original instructions. Sacred practice. Lie quietly, breathe deeply, and visualize golden light merging with your body, restoring every cell to its original perfection. Chapter 29. The Circle of Forgiveness. In a small cottage among flowering gardens, Nell carried memories like stones in her heart. Each morning she would wake feeling their weight, decades of regret etching lines across her face. Her shoulders curved inward, as though protecting an ancient wound, and her steps grew heavy with each passing season. One autumn evening, as golden light spilled through her windows, Nell uncovered a dusty box of letters. Among them lay a note from her sister, words of forgiveness written years ago that she had been too afraid to read. As her trembling fingers unfolded the yellowed paper, tears fell freely. Her sister's graceful script spoke of understanding, of love that transcended old hurts, of release. In that sacred moment, something shifted within Nell's being. The burden she had carried for so long began to dissolve, like frost under morning sun. Her breath deepened, her spine straightened, and a forgotten lightness returned to her movements. The truth emerges clear as mountain springs. Guilt corrodes the very fabric of our cellular memory. It is an acid that eats away at vitality, dimming the natural radiance of being. Yet forgiveness acts as divine lubrication for the soul, allowing life force to flow unimpeded through every vessel and vein. Like water wearing away at stone, guilt's persistent presence creates channels of depletion in our energy field. But when we choose to release its grip, these same channels become rivers of renewal, carrying fresh vitality to every corner of our being. In a distant city, two childhood friends who had grown apart through misunderstanding found themselves seated at the same cafe. Years of blame and hurt had carved shadows under their eyes and tension in their jaws. Yet as they spoke, sharing truths long hidden, something remarkable occurred. With each honest word, each acceptance of past pain, their faces seemed to soften. By the time they embraced farewell, both women appeared somehow younger, their eyes bright with reclaimed joy. This transformation was no mere trick of light. It was the physical manifestation of spiritual liberation. When we release others from the prison of our judgment, we simultaneously free ourselves from the role of jailer. This mutual liberation creates a surge of life-giving energy that renews both body and spirit. The wisdom becomes clear. Holding on to guilt and grievance is like trying to swim while clutching heavy stones. Release them, and naturally you rise to the surface, buoyant and free. Your cells remember their original state of grace, and your body recalls its inherent vitality. Ancient practice. Find a quiet moment each day, place your hand upon your heart, and speak these words with gentle conviction. I am forgiven, I forgive, I am free. Feel your body sigh in relief as these vibrations of release ripple through your being. Let each repetition wash away another layer of accumulated guilt, revealing the timeless light that has always lived within you. Chapter 30. The Timeless Awakening. Along a winding mountain path, Hugh climbed daily to his teaching post at the village school. Each step had become a meditation on time, how it seemed to flow faster with each passing year, how his joints reminded him of accumulated decades. Until one crisp morning, when everything changed. As dawn painted the sky in gentle hues, Hugh paused to catch his breath. A shaft of sunlight pierced through morning mist, and in that crystalline moment, something extraordinary occurred. Time itself seemed to stand still. In that pause, Hugh experienced himself not as a collection of years, but as pure awareness, timeless, unbounded, ever-present. The revelation unfolds like this. Your body exists as energy dancing in eternal consciousness. What you perceive as aging is merely attention misplaced on linear time rather than timeless being. When you release the notion of years passing, your cells remember their origin in infinite light. Consider how water remains water whether flowing as river or resting as lake. Similarly, your essence remains unchanged by the movement of time. Your body responds not to calendars, but to the quality of your awareness. When you inhabit the eternal now, every cell awakens to its original blueprint of perpetual renewal. In the cool shadows of an ancient temple, a sage named Akash sat with his disciples. One asked about the nature of time. Without speaking, Akash picked up a handful of sand and let it flow between his fingers. "Does the sand age as it falls?" he asked. "Or does it simply move through space?" His eyes sparkled with ancient wisdom as he continued. "So too with your body. It moves through experience, but its essence remains untouched by time. This truth resonates in every fiber of your being. You are not subject to time. You are the awareness in which time appears. Your body responds to this understanding by releasing its hold on artificial aging. Every cell contains the memory of its timeless nature, waiting to be awakened by your recognition. The power to transcend time lies not in fighting its flow, but in realizing your existence beyond it. Like a ray of sunshine that knows nothing of hours or years, your essential nature remains forever fresh, forever new. This is not philosophy. It is the practical science of cellular awakening through conscious alignment with eternal presence. To embody this wisdom, find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed. Close your eyes and feel the aliveness that pulses through your body in this moment. Let your breath become slow and deep, each inhale drawing in the freshness of timeless being, each exhale releasing the illusion of linear aging. Then, with quiet authority, speak these words: "I am eternal presence expressing now." Feel how these words resonate in every cell, awakening the memory of your timeless nature. Your body responds to this remembrance by aligning with its original pattern of perpetual renewal. Practice this contemplation daily, allowing its truth to sink deeper into your awareness. Watch as your cells begin to dance to the rhythm of eternity rather than the ticking of clocks. The eternal body is not a destination to reach, but a present reality to recognize. Actionable practice. Sit quietly and affirm, "I am eternal presence, expressing now." If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. Through these chapters, you have uncovered not merely techniques, but remembrance, the ancient knowing that your body is a living prayer responding to the frequency of your attention. The law of attraction manifests not as abstract principle, but as the very substance of your cells, the electric current of your thoughts shaping the architecture of flesh and bone. Each story shared, from Millie's mirror revelation to Hugh's timeless awakening, reflects a facet of your own innate power. These were not mere characters, but mirrors of the eternal dance between consciousness and form. Their journeys illuminate the path you already know, that youth flows not from external sources, but from the wellspring of gratitude within. The wisdom gathered here is both ancient and immediate, expressing through the laboratory of your own experience. Every breath, every heartbeat, every moment of conscious appreciation weaves the tapestry of cellular renewal. Your body is not marching toward entropy, but dancing in eternal emergence, responding moment by moment to the quality of your awareness. Remember, this ending is truly a beginning. The knowledge you hold now is not information to be stored, but light to be lived. Your cells await your direction, your tissues resonate with your faith, and your entire being stands ready to express the timeless vitality that is your natural state. The eternal blueprint is not a distant ideal, but your present reality, awakening through every grateful thought, every loving breath, every moment you choose to align with the infinite now. Let these teachings live through you, for you are the living proof of their power.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.